Good morning, sir. I thank Sauman Mukherjee, sir, Professor English, for giving me this opportunity to make this oral presentation. It is a privilege to welcome you, sir, to my virtual oral presentation as a part of my coursework English for Researchers. My name is N. Yuvaraja, and I am a research scholar at VITBS. I am looking forward to talking with you today about the topic leadership and innate skill or result of experience. Any country, any organization, or any team, it cannot accomplish its goal without a good leader. So the naturally question arises: the leader is born or made? Let's see. Some researchers and authors believe that people are born with certain characteristics that enable them to become a great leaders. That is, they believe that the leaders are born, not made. While some other authors believe that the leadership skills can be learnable. That is, it can be learned through experience or through a proper training and development programs. In this presentation, I am going to discuss about both the views and conclude. So, let's see. The leadership is an innate skill that is born with a person. It is first supported by Thomas Carl in the year 1840s by the great man theory. Though this theory got popular in 19th century, it was first given by Thomas Carl. Or it is a result of experience. It was first supported by Herbert Spencer in the year 1860s. So before going into that, we must understand what is a leader and what is leadership. Leader and leadership. As per Oxford Dictionary, leader is a person who leads a group of people, especially the head of the country, as we all know the political leaders, or an organization, etc. As per vocabulary.com, a leader is one in charge, the person who convinces other people to follow. A great leader inspires confidence in other people and moves them to action. So naturally we can see that a leader is a person who has a set of followers. Then let's see what is leadership. Northouse defined leadership as a behavior, a style, a skill, a process, a responsibility, an experience, a function of management, a position of authority, an influencing relationship, a characteristics, and an ability. In the year 2007, John Maxwell defined leadership by influence. That is, it is a quality to influence others. That quality is called leadership. Carter, in the year 1990, stated that leadership is the capacity for collective action to visualize. Robert Greenleaf defined effective leadership as people who serve others while they follow them. According to Peter F. Drucker, the father of management, he defined a leader is someone who has followers. So, leader is a person who has a set of followers. He said in the year 1999. Leadership is shifting of own vision to higher sights, the rising of man's performance to higher standards, the building of man's personality beyond its normal limitations. This is also given by Peter F. Drucker. So we can say that leadership is a process by which a person influences others to accomplish an objective and directs the organization or a country or a team in a way that makes it more cohesive and coherent. The ability to influence a group toward achievement of goals is leadership. Leader is a person, leadership is a process or behavior of a leader. Research methodology of my presentation. The research questions intended to answer by this study is: leadership is an innate skill, that is, it is born with the person, or it can be learned through experience. So, the objectives of the study is to find out the leadership is an innate skill, that is, it is born with the person. Second objective is to find out leadership can be learned, maybe through experience or proper education or training and development programs. The methodology that followed in this study is studying the already existing literature, that is collection of data from the already existing literatures. So the data collection method. The data is collected from the existing research articles, books, and websites. So all the data in this study are secondary data. Okay, now let's discuss leadership is an innate skill or gained through experience. Let's see the arguments made by the researchers who and authors who believe leadership is an inborn skill with a person and why. The first theory to support this argument is great man theory of leadership. Some theorists believe that leadership is innate skill, that it is born with the person. Starting from Thomas Cole of the year 1840s. The great man theory of leadership. Their argument is that some people born to lead. If you look at the great leaders of the past, such as Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Queen Elizabeth I, and Abraham Lincoln, we will find that they do seem to differ from ordinary human beings in several aspects, not only single aspects, in several aspects. The same applies to the contemporary leaders like George Bush, Mahatma Gandhi, etc. They definitely possess high levels of ambition coupled with clear visions of precisely where they want to go. These leaders are cited as naturally great leaders, born with a set of personal qualities that made them effective leaders. Even today, the belief that a lot of researchers believe that truly great leaders are born, which is common. Great leaders like top executives, sports personalities, and even politicians often seem to possess an aura that sets them apart from others. According to the contemporary theories, leaders are not like other people. They are not just like any other human beings. They do not need to be intellectually genius to succeed, but they definitely should have a right stuff, which is not equally present in all people. This orientation expresses an approach to the study of leadership known as the great man theory. The great man theory simply refers to the impact of great men or heroes, highly influential persons who, due to either their personal charisma, intelligence, wisdom, attitude, or political skills, utilized their power in a way that had a decisive historic impact. The assumptions of the theory, that is, the great man theory's assumptions are there are mainly two assumptions. The leaders are born and not made, and possess certain traits or behaviors or qualities which can be inherited. Great leaders can arise when there is a great need. These two are the assumptions of great man theory. Now let's go into the theory. The great man theory, it dated back to 1840s when the Scottish writer Thomas Cole stated that the history of the world is but the biography of great men. This statement threw light on his belief that heroes shape the history through both their personal attributes and inspirations. Much of the work on this theory was done in the 19th century, though it is often linked to the work of historian Thomas Cole, who commented on great men or heroes of history, saying that according to him, a leader is one gifted with unique qualities that capture the imagination of the masses. Earlier, leadership was considered as a quality associated with mostly males, and therefore the theory is named as great men theory. But later, with the emergence of many great women leaders as well, the theory was recognized as great person theory to include women in that. The great man theory of leadership states that some people are born with necessary attributes or qualities that set them apart from the others, and that these traits are responsible for their assuming the powers and authorities. That is, a person who is a leadership qualities will naturally assume the power or authority in a country or in an organization or in a team. A leadership, a leader is a hero who accomplishes the goals against all odds. Despite he is having a lot of troubles, he will achieve for his followers. The theory implies that those in power deserve to be there because of their special endowment, that is, the qualities they are born with. Further, the theory contends that this triad remains stable over time and across different groups. Thus, it suggests that all great leaders share these characteristics, regardless of when and where they lived or precise role in history they are fulfilled. Now, let's look at the arguments made by the theorists, authors, and researchers that leadership can be learned through experience or through a proper training and development programs. There has been a substantial amount of controversy surrounding whether or not effective leaders are born to be leaders. Some authors have the presumption that leadership is a process that cannot be learned and that there are only a select few individuals who have granted the opportunity to be a successful in leadership capacities. Herbert Spencer, Herbert Spencer in 1860s, a noted philosopher, sociologist, biologist, and political theorist of Victorian era, countered that great man theory as childish, primitive, and unscientific. He believed leaders were product of their environment. He advocated that before a great man can remake his society, the society has to make the great man. According to Campbell, in the year 2011, no person is born a leader. Blank in the year 2001 stated that people are labeled natural born leaders because they effortlessly, spontaneously, consistently, and frequently demonstrate the specific skills that cause others to willingly follow. One of the most dangerous leadership myths is that leaders are born and that there is genetic factor to the leadership. Cows and Posner suggest that the notion that leadership is reserved for only a few is reinforced every time someone asks, are leaders are born or made? It is indeed obvious that all leaders are born, but the question still remains as to whether or not some leaders are born to be leaders. He also suggests that it is pure myth that only a lucky few can ever understand the intricacies of leadership. Leadership is not in gene and it is not a secret code that can be deciphered by ordinary people. Leadership is not a subject that can be taught in a couple of sessions. It is a skill that can be developed and perfected with the experience and acquired through the process called life. The main reason why some researchers and authors believe that leadership qualities are inborn is that leadership is based on the personality traits the behaviors which either a person possesses by birth or doesn't. People's genetic makeup influences their behavior. That is, the genes in the people's body influence their behavior through from the parents they are getting the genetic makeups, it will influence their behavior. And those who are naturally balanced and composed handle stress more easily. According to them, leadership cannot be taught, and people who do not possess these natural traits fail at leadership. On the other hand, some people think leadership skills are not in person's DNA and can be learned through experience, education, and training. Experience and circumstances prepare people to deal with success and failure. Good communication skills and formal speaking are the essential traits of leaders and can be learned through formal training and well-rounded education. Now, we have seen the both side of arguments. That is, leadership is an inborn quality that is born along with the person, and other group of authors believes that it can be learned through a proper education and training programs or through experience. Let's discuss about their arguments. The main reason why some researchers and authors believe that leadership qualities are inborn is that leadership is based on personality traits which either a person possesses by birth or doesn't. People's genetic makeup influences their behavior, and those who are naturally balanced and composed handle stress more easily. According to them, leadership cannot be taught, and people who do not possess these natural traits fail at leadership. On the other hand, some people think that leadership can be learnable. Leadership skills are not in person's DNA and can be learned through experience, education, and training. Experience and circumstances prepare leader to deal with success and failure. Good communication skills and formal speaking are the essential traits of leaders and can be learned through a formal training and a well-rounded education. Borling in the year 2014, Taylor Muse in the year 2019 briefly discussed about these arguments. We all heard the phrase natural born leader before. It is pervasive belief that natural leadership is an innate skill that is born with the person. Some people simply have and others doesn't have it. It's not hard to find in news and business articles that traits of these natural leaders, citing that the qualities that they have like charisma, decisiveness, etc. If you think back, the best leaders you worked with or hired in your career, that they have a natural behavior and they have a effortless behavior and attitude they felt. It all seemed very natural. The question is, was it actually natural or can leadership can be learned? Let's start with something most of us would agree on. Good leadership is a skill, and like most skill, there is no universal definition of what makes the best leader. In the same way, chefs specialize in certain cuisines or musicians can master specific genres. Leaders can lead in different ways. Again, Take a moment to think about the best leaders you have ever worked with. They weren't carbon copies of each other, were they? This, of course, is common with any skill. To continue our comparison above, the great chefs don't all make the same dish with the same exact taste, and great pianists will play the same music piece just a bit differently. They all do it well, but they won't do it identically. That is, it won't be exactly same. Now, let's get back to the question: are leaders born or made? Like all skills, some people are just more likely to be good at leading, but the whole point of framing leadership as a skill was to underline the leaders don't have to be naturally born. Skills can be learned. Leadership can be trained. Now, think about the position that newly promoted manager is in. They've been great at the job, but suddenly they require to have whole new set of skills. They never needed it before. Think about someone who spent years coding, who needs to gather conscious concerns and lead engineers of saleswoman or salesman, who is now responsible for a managerial position, not for closing our own deals, but for the entire team performance. If these people aren't natural leaders, it could not be done. Borling says that 57% of frontline managers say that they learned leadership skills through trial and error. So it is clear that leadership can be learned through experience. Everything from internal mentors to leadership books to conferences to virtual coaching solutions should be on the table for developing leadership qualities among the people. In fact, the more of it would be better, because in the same way the leadership is a skill and no two people do it exactly the same. No two people learn how to lead in the exact same way either. They are going to be drawing different personal experiences and leading into different natural triads, and that something that should be encouraged. The key thing to note here is that training and building leaders, whether they were born to do it or not, isn't something that simply happens. Leadership is an inherently personal thing. We all do it differently. But what separates good leaders from not so good leaders is that the good leaders one lead with authenticity. They aren't playing a role, they are being themselves. Solutions and approaches that pair emerging leaders with the coaches or internal mentors are especially valuable here. They can help uncover leadership styles that come naturally to the leaders, even if leading itself isn't wholly natural. In the end, the question of whether leaders are born or made isn't actually the most important question. Rather, the important question is how to get the most out of every leader. And you can do that by realizing that leadership is a skill and that can be learned and improved. It is like a muscle, get stronger the more you use it. Invest in training and give both the emerging and established leaders is the need of the hour. Thomas Cole formulated that great men are born leaders. Leadership is an inborn quality, and that is, inborn leaders build the world. Herbert, on the other hand, argues that great men are not born, but made by society that they live in. He throws light on how leadership can be experienced when the need arises. That the environment makes the people great. There are many skills that can be inborn. Leadership is may or may not be one of them, and any person can be groomed to be master skills for becoming a good leader. It is the fact that children of many good leaders have failed as leaders, but those which such no background have risen to the great heights as a leaders. Our honorable ex-president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi have risen from the humble beginnings. Though great man theories use our national father Mahatma Gandhi as an example as a natural born leader, but from his autobiography we can see that it was through his life experiences and practices he learned the skills that required to be a good leader. Therefore, it can be concluded that leadership may be inborn skill for some, but that doesn't mean that it can be acquired through experience. A leader may be born or made, but he is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.